Hey guys, it's Molly. Welcome back to Molly in Missoula, episode 6, I think, where we have different episodes about different things. This episode is all about post-grad, post-college, and college in general, my college experience, everything that encompasses all that jazz. So I took notes on my iPad, and I'm just going to walk through kind of what I wrote down. I've already filmed this, but my mic wasn't working, and I have these cute little babies that we're going to be using. But I want to get a big one and just film podcast episodes about whatever and whatever I want to. If you guys have anything that you want to hear talked about, people you want on, let me know, and I'll see what we can do. But I want to keep doing this once I move and kind of just keep in touch with people through this, and then also meet new people. So if you have something that you want to have an episode of Molly in Missoula about, let me know, and I will find one. I want to do one with my hometown friends. I think that would be really fun. But yes, that long introduction. We are not in Missoula anymore. We are actually in Washington, and this is my childhood bedroom, so welcome. I'm home for the summer, and I have post-grad plans, but I'll get into those in a little bit. But I want to break this up into 3 separate segments of this podcast episode: post-grad feelings, my college experience, and then also how what kind of internships and jobs I had to get to where I am in my post-grad plans. So I guess I can start with that. If you're new here, my name is Molly. I just graduated from the University of Montana with a degree in business in management information systems and marketing. So if you're new here, subscribe. We got lots of fun stuff planned in the future. But yeah, that's what I just lived in Missoula, and I love it there. I would move back in a heartbeat, and I love it so much. But time to get out for a little bit, and you can always go back, is what I have been told my whole life. So that is the goal, is to one day possibly move back or have property or something in Montana. But this is already going all over the place. Post-grad is like a crazy feeling. Right now I'm kind of in the middle of June right now, so I'm kind of in the boat of it's just summertime, and in a month and a half I'm just going to go back to Missoula and go work orientation and go back to school and start in the fall again. And that's actually not the case. And yeah, I think it's going to really hit me this fall when all my friends are back in school and I am not, is when it's really going to be like, oh my gosh, I graduated college. So, yeah, I think it's interesting too, because I really wanted to film this episode with 3 of my really, really close bestest pals in Missoula. Kyle, Liv, and Anne. We all have very different paths after graduation, but the timing just didn't work out. And I do have an episode with Kyle and an episode with Liv if you want to check them out. But Anakin hasn't made it on the podcast yet. But I wanted to do that because college is so unique of when you graduate, or when you're going into like a new phase of your life after college. College is such a easy place to just kind of get sheltered in a little bit, like different than high school, of like when you graduate, everybody's on a different path, and some people are going straight into the workforce. Some people have jobs, some people are trying to find jobs, they haven't found one yet, and some people are going back to school to get their master's or continuing school if they're already in it. And it's just not as simple as, you're going to go to work, or what school you're going to, and it's kind of like life. Your life starts now, where in college you don't have to have like a a job prepared for you right when you, like, throughout college. You don't have to think about that until your senior year of like, oh shoot, I need to figure something out. So it's just a lot different of like, you can apply to a college. They have running enrollment and senior year of high school, but it's similar but very different of like, a lot of people are in very, very different stages of life, and it's very interesting. And that's why I wanted to do this with Kyle, Ann, and Liv, is we are all in such different areas of life, and not life, different stages of seniors. This year we have been, I got my job offer in August, and so I've kind of known, like, at some point I'm going to start my job. So I wasn't really worried about it until I started applying to other jobs, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I had this mental breakdown in April, I want to say. Here's what thinking about post-grad looks like, and knowing that it's all going to be okay. So, yeah, isn't that fun? But earlier this fall, Kyle was in the state of like, he didn't know what kind of job was going to be available or anything like that. And so that was a stressor on him that I just have never had to experience through this last year. Anne's in pharmacy school, and so she's been in our pharmacy school for 2 years already, and so she already knows what she's going to be doing is continue in pharmacy school. And then Liv had a stressful like fall semester applying to grad schools, and then she got in, so then her stress level was more of like finding an apartment and stuff like that instead of not knowing what was next. So yeah, everybody is going through similar things, but it's all very different at the same time. And it's just a lot. Like, you're trying to figure out classes still. You're trying to still like work if you have a job. There's so much going on. There's stuff going on campus, stuff going on in the community. There's just a lot going on. Everybody's going through that, but then an added stressor of like, what the heck am I going to do in 2 months or 8 months or whenever you started planning the process. So that's kind of where I am. I am in the middle of planning a move across the country, and I found out my start date on May 28th or something. So yeah, currently in the process of looking to buy a new car and trying to figure out which car to buy. I've been test driving like a mad woman, and looking for a place to live and planning a road trip across the country, packing all my stuff and things like that. So my post-grad plans are to moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I interned last summer and working for the company that I interned for. I got a post-grad offer after my internship ended that I accepted, and I'm very excited to move to Charlotte. I really loved it there, and it's going to be a big change, but I'm ready, and God wouldn't give you anything that you weren't ready for. And I'm just excited to see where this takes my life and kind of how it shapes the rest of my professional career. But I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be really awesome. But moving into, I don't know, should I go over my college experience or my internships that I did? I feel like I should start with my college experience, and then we'll end this with the internships I did that really did help set me up for everything post-grad. I am so thankful for everybody that I got to work with, all my managers, all my coworkers, and like I got to work with some of the best teams I could have possibly imagined. So yeah, I'm excited to share that with you guys. It's something that I haven't really talked about. But my college experience I want to talk about because was actually not my first choice of schools. I got waitlisted at my number one dream school, which just happened to be that way for like a year before I applied. But I got accepted to go to this business camp my junior summer before senior year of high school at the University of Washington. They have one of the best business schools the best business school in Washington, probably, but like it's a really high ranking business school, and Seattle's just full of companies that want to hire UW grads. And yeah, that was really enticing to me because one of my main goals in life is to work really hard and be successful at whatever I do. And so the opportunity to work with these big companies like Amazon and Microsoft and Costco and Nordstrom and all these companies that are based out of Seattle was a really cool opportunity that is easily accessible with hard work, obviously, but being located in the Seattle area. And they're a huge sports school, which is what I was looking for. They have really good academics, and it's just a fun environment to be in. And it wasn't 45 minutes from my parents' house, which was a very important factor. But I got waitlisted at UW. I applied to Northern Arizona University, Montana State, Eastern, Whitworth, a private school in Spokane, WSU, I think a California school maybe, and that was pretty much it. Those are the schools I applied to. I got into everything except for UW, which I got waitlisted, and I didn't even join the waitlist. That was kind of me being like, you know what, that's not meant to be there. This was in the heat of COVID too, of not when I got waitlisted, but that same year, my senior year, when I was like, you know what, like it's okay. And things that are what's meant to be will be. And I took that pretty literally in that sense of I just started to try to figure out what I wanted to do and what was next. And the next thing for me, I just started like going through schools and like trying to figure out. I went and visited I didn't visit MSU, but I got the WUI, the Western Undergraduate Exchange at the University of Montana, which is a really cool scholarship where you pay 110% of in-state tuition. So it was way more affordable for me to go out of state actually than to stay in Washington because our in-state tuition is insane. So yeah, I went to I decided to go to after they had this bus tour to Spokane. I got to meet with a bunch of alumni and then also meet our president and some advocates that I'm friends with now that had come to the tour to come talk to prospective students. So that was really cool. But yeah, that's kind of what sealed the deal for me. And my high school athletic director actually played for the Grizz. So that was a cool little connection that he was like, you should go. And I was like, no. And then after we had some award ceremonies in June before graduation, he was like, you're going to and I was like, I'm going to So that's been really cool too. But yeah, that is how I ended up going to the University of Montana. And I actually did not enjoy my first 3 months there. I found it really hard to make friends. I didn't have a roommate. There wasn't a ton going on because of COVID, and I just found it really, really hard, and I was super isolated. I had a few friends on my floor in Jesse. Shout out Jesse 757. Okay, this angle is actually so much better. I have a little Joby tripod that I was using, but until my head is cut off. But yeah, freshman year was really hard the first couple months, and it's hard. Finding a new community is really hard, but my biggest recommendation to overcome that is to pour into a community, and the more you pour into a community, the more it's going to pour into you. And this you can do by joining organizations, join different clubs, join what's interesting to you that you want to join, obviously. But my freshman year, I went through sorority recruitment and I joined Theta, and that was probably one of the best decisions I could have made for freshman year me. And the other best decision I could have made is to join or apply to be a advocate. This is an orientation leader / we used to give tours / just a campus volunteer. We have these fun little gold Montana name tags, and yeah, those are two organizations that I will forever be so grateful for because they gave me some of my bestest friends, and they just taught me a lot about life and a lot about how to be a professional in the real world and how to talk to people, how to support people, how to meet people where they are, and a lot of other really important tools for the future. But join things, go put yourself out there and just get involved as much as you possibly can and take leadership roles or take on different roles within the organizations that you gain or join or whatever, and really just pour your heart and soul into things that you want to have poured back into you. But yeah, was something that I poured my heart and soul into. Over the 4 years, I was an ASUM senator. I was in Theta. I held a few officer positions there. I was an advocate for all 4 years. I gave a bajillion tours my freshman and sophomore year, my freshman spring, like after I passed advocate class. But yeah, what else did I do? This last fall, we reestablished our student section from after COVID kind of demolished it. And we did so very successfully with the help of our bosses. There was 4 student leaders, me and 3 others, and 3 of our bosses. And we freaking crushed it. It was so much fun. We made funny, silly little videos. Insert here. And we just had a good time and brought back the Grizz pride and the Grizz spirit to UM that was lacking over the last few years, getting out of COVID and recovering from COVID. And that's probably my greatest memories, are all having to do with a lot of zoo crew things. So if you go to UM, you should join the zoo crew. It's super fun. Look for the silly people in the bibs and yeah, just be a goof, have a good time. Another thing that college taught me is that I am just genuinely a pretty silly person and I don't like to take things too seriously, but like, be a goof, be yourself, be like 100% yourself, and you're going to find the people that are 100% themselves that you want to be around and be friends with, and you're going to make the greatest friendships in the world, no matter what school you go to, and just give it your all and put yourself out there, meet new people, and just freaking go. Enjoy every second. I made a video on Instagram. I have made one after every semester, and this caption I decided to do for when you first move to a college town. You might not know anybody, or you might know a few people, but you're just hoping and praying to God that this is exactly where you're supposed to be. And I can confidently say that 4 years later, UM was exactly where I was supposed to be. So if you got waitlisted or got rejected from a school that you wanted to go to, maybe it's just God or whatever you believe in, telling you that that wasn't the right choice for you and that wasn't the plan that was made for you. And yeah, I am so thankful I went to UM. And I also did a semester at the University of Georgia. I kind of hit a breaking point my fall of my junior year, and I just was burnt out. Like, I poured too much, I guess, but sophomore year, spring was really hard for me. And then it kind of like bled a little bit into the fall of my junior year, and I just needed a break. And I decided to do a national student exchange at the University of Georgia. So I was still a UM student, but I was doing a semester like abroad, but in the US. So I went to UGA for a semester, and I learned the same lessons of you have to put yourself out there, you have to pour into the community, and you have to just want to be there and work really hard. And I made some really good friends there. It was really hard to move in the middle of a school year and like find people to like work my way into their communities, but it was really rewarding, and I'm very thankful for my time in Athens. Georgia fan for life now, but I am very thankful for that, and that kind of gave me and rejuvenated my love for as I moved into my senior year, and I'm very, very thankful for that. But yeah, that is kind of my experience. I lived in Jesse Hall my freshman year, as I said. I love Jesse. It's going to hold a place in my heart forever. And then my sophomore year, in the fall of my junior year, I lived in Theta, and that was super fun. I had my first roommate ever in my whole life, Shyla, shout out, in Icebox. So if you are a Theta or in the future or live in Theta, that was my first room. And I am so incredibly thankful for that, too. Shiloh's going to be one of my best friends for the rest of my life. And this is the type of friendship that no matter what, if you don't talk to each other for like a few weeks or something, you're going to pick back right where you left off. So that's just the type of relationships that you gain in college and gain in life, and they're so special. So yes, I lived in Icebox, and then I became the VPO, vice president, and then I got my own room. So I had my own room second semester, and then the fall of my junior year. And then I lived in the residence halls in Athens as well, just because it was just for a couple months. And I had a roommate there, Grace. She is so fun and so cool too. And yeah, that was a super fun experience as well. And then this last year, I moved into an apartment. I lived in the University X's university housing, but like apartments that they own. And it was really affordable, super close in proximity to campus, and just really convenient. But I lived with one of my really good friends, Beth. She's also was a Theta. And yeah, that was such a fun adventure as well. But yeah, that was my college experience, and I'm so thankful for literally every minute of it. I feel like I didn't care at all about my freshman year, and now I couldn't say anything but positive things. Even the like hard things that I went through at they helped shape me who I am right now. So very thankful for it. But if you're looking to go to a school, look into It's really an incredible school. If you're going into like engineering or something, maybe don't go to but business, they have a pretty good like chemistry program, really good poli-sci and stuff like that. So yes, also we have the number one wildlife bio program in the entire continent of North America, which is pretty cool. But yeah, really incredible school, great people, and the Grizz fan base is one of the best in the whole entire world. And yeah, that's my pitch for And finally, my area of study / what I did, internships, jobs, things that I did during college to prepare me for where I'm going in the next couple months. I think internships are so fun. It's like getting to test a job and see if you actually like that, and that's such a valuable thing that you're not committing to it like super long term. So yeah, super fun, and usually meet really cool people, which is my favorite part of internships. I could just intern for the rest of my life if I could. My first internship was with a company called iMag. It's an engineering firm, and I interned for them the summer after my sophomore year of college. And I did like an administrative internship where I just pretty much interned for somebody that was on maternity leave, and I learned a ton about engineering. The Missoula branch is a civil engineering branch, so if you're in engineering, you should look into iMag. They're a really great company. They're based out of Indianapolis, and they do every type of engineering. So super great company. The people in Missoula are so incredibly cool, and that was just a really fun summer. I got to spend it in my favorite place and got to go to Paddleheads games, float the river, do all these fun things and then have a really cool work environment to go to as well, while learning a ton about engineering that I had no idea anything about because I am a business major. But I did that my sophomore summer. And then my junior fall semester, I interned for the alumni office doing communications and social media work for them. And so I did a lot of work on their website and just helped with like social media posts and things like that. Photography sometimes. There's this really fun picture of my finger covering a magazine. Super, super fun and cool and vintage looking, super hip. And then I was also interning at the athletics department for the marketing department for athletics. And I did this through graduation. So I interned for them for about 2 years. And that was so much fun. That is such a cool department to work for, and getting to help with the game day experience, all the prep work for game day, getting to help make content for social media, run social media with a ton of followers on game days, posting stories, posting the environment, and just helping to just like show the environment that's happening in the stadium, in the crowd, in the gym in Dahlberg Arena, to anybody that's not there. And then also just helping to spread the Grizzly pride. It's so much fun, and I love game day operations. That's something that I hope I can pursue in the future. And it's just so much fun to me. That's such a passion of mine. I grew up playing sports, and so just athletics have been a huge part of my whole entire life. And then getting to work in them and getting to do things like this are just so incredibly rewarding. So that is a incredible internship. If you're at you should apply. It's really cool. Application deadline is probably already done, but next year you should apply. And in between, when I went to UGA, I interned for their athletics fan engagement marketing department. For the whole semester, I worked a ton of basketball, a ton of women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball, some gymnastics, and that was so much fun. I raced in this costumes every baseball game I worked at, so.
And we're off to a little bit of a slow start. Some blocking going on. Another collision. Looks like it's a two-person race down the stretch. They're fighting it out. There goes the Peanut and the Peach. Hokies is today's winner. And because of Hokies' victory on Peach.
Hope you enjoyed that. But yeah, it was so much fun, and I got to meet a ton of people through that. And through the internship, I made some really, really awesome, incredible friends. So, yeah, intern. If you're interested in sports, there's always a ton of internships available through universities and through like AAA baseball and some minor league stuff too, which is really fun and really cool. So I did that my junior spring semester while I was at Georgia, and then my last summer, I interned at an accounting firm in North Carolina that I'm going back to. And yeah, I am very excited to go back. I interned at one of the big four, and I accepted a full-time job offer from them, and I'm excited to go back. So I interned in their risk and financial advisory sector, so I'll be going back for that, and hopefully getting a few certificates and maybe moving around at some point. But I'm excited to experience and get to learn a ton and grow up and continue to just learn. So that's the exciting thing. I really enjoyed Charlotte last summer, and getting to work with the people that I got to work with in the intern class that I was in was so incredibly cool. So I'm excited that most of us are all going back. So yeah, and yeah, then moving on to this year, I talked about Zucker already, but that was something like my little child that I got to work with Kyle, Dom, and James, and our bosses, like I said, Nick, Gabby, and Karen. Yeah, that core group of people for me was one of the best groups of people that I spent a ton of time with this year. So I'm just really proud of everything we were able to accomplish, and I can't wait to see what everyone else accomplishes. But yeah, and then finally, the last thing that I did was I interned as a marketing intern for a company called Submittable from November to May this last year. So I worked part-time after my classes there throughout the week and throughout the school year. And yeah, that was probably some of the best people I've ever worked with. They were so cool. And the team I got to work with was so diverse of skill sets that they were all so good at what they did and were really great at working as a team to collaborate on different things and show their strengths to just be a better organization and have just like produce really high quality things. So as a marketing intern, I got to work on their podcast, which actually starting this podcast in my class, I talked about a ton in my interview, and I think that helped me get the internship. But I got to help with their podcast. I did a lot of data analytics and tracking different numbers for them and making a dashboard that they could like see all this stuff on, or more so updating it and then like adding some other stuff to it. And then I kind of got to control that throughout my entire internship, and I got to work on some other random projects as well, and just helping and assisting the marketing team whatever I could, which was really cool on a different side of marketing. I had only experienced athletics marketing and sports marketing, and then what I learned in my classes and things like that, but just seeing the application of actual marketing for a company was really cool and something that taught me a ton. But yeah, Submittable is a nonprofit grant management software program company that's based out of Missoula, which I had never heard about, but a lot of people for universities specifically, like UM uses them for all of their scholarship stuff. And so if you applied to a scholarship for your university, you should see if it's Submittable, and it'd be really cool if it was. But yeah, they have Missoula is their headquarters, and then they have an office at Bellevue. But yeah, I got to work with some really cool people, and that was probably one of my favorite work experiences throughout college. So shout out to the Submittable team. But yeah, that was all the internships that I did. Like I said, internships were super powerful for me. Just getting to apply. Learning in a classroom is so different than what you learn in actually applying things in real life situations. And so it was cool to be able to do all of these internships and get to learn and apply my different skill sets and different knowledge that I learned through my classes in actual career job situations. And yeah, also shout out to Mario. He's the professor that I had to make my podcast for, and I also wrote an ebook about travel. If you're interested in buying it, it is very cheap, but it took me a long time, and it's really cool. I'm going to link it down below, actually, but shout out to him, because he was probably one of the only professors, minus like client work, that we did in the MIS department, which shout out to that too. That was very helpful. But in the marketing department, like an actual thing that was tangible that we made, that we own and do. That was probably my favorite classes, were the ones where we got to make tangible things that we got to just use our creative outlets for. So shout out to that. I hope to continue Molly in Missoula and different episodes about different things, and just keep having my friends on. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or anything about leave them in the comments and I'll answer them. But yeah, thank you guys for being a small part of my experience and following along. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe for all the moving content and big life decisions and life moves and changes in the next month and a half, 2 months. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode of Molly in Missoula.